Why not wear the same jersey I was wearing this morning for the preview and the news of the day video? I'm just gonna say it. This is a Montreal team that to me was playing for their coach. This is a Montreal team that to me right out of the gate had something to prove. Now, how much of this was playing for Claude Julien, and how much of this was just pride, looking at game one and going, "Hey, we could have won game one. We need to go out, establish ourselves, and prove something." Whatever the motivation, Montreal looked fantastic today. Just imagine if Romanov had been allowed to play in this series. Montreal is witnessing the emergence of Nick Suzuki as a star player in the NHL, a nice two-way forward star player. You look at Suzuki's game, he reminds me of Bergeron. I can say that as a Boston fan. He reminds me of Patrice Bergeron. And I can see that in his game just because he plays that 200-foot game and he's kind of good at everything. And then there's Kotkaniemi, who throughout this season we've heard a lot about how he's a bomb. I never said it. At any point during this season, I never said Kotkaniemi. All I ever said about him was he's a teenager. So the idea of just, oh, well, he's done. He's no good. Teenager. Just let these kids mature a little bit. Sometimes fans, sometimes media are really quick to throw the kids under the bus when they're kids. And especially if somebody's coming over from Europe, there's the getting used to the culture shock too. So it's not just a matter of going to the pro game, it's a matter of it may be a language difference, it may be a culture shock. There's a lot that goes on that we don't think about. Today, everything went Montreal's way. Everything. No lineup changes for either team. But boy howdy. Tatar scores from Gallagher and Suzuki at 1:02. This is the first time the Flyers have trailed since the restart. Okay, so they didn't trail at all during the round robin. They didn't trail in game one against Montreal. They're trailing here. Montreal makes them chase the game right out of the gate. Shots were 5-0 for Montreal at 3 minutes. Carter Hart absolutely under siege. Completely under siege. And I don't think Hart necessarily had a bad game, but the defense in front of him did. Thompson takes a penalty. The Habs go to the power play. Good chance on the penalty kill, though, for Kevin Hayes. Again, Hayes looked decent early on. By the end of this game, this was a pretty humiliated bunch of Flyers. I would expect more out of them in the next game. Flyers turnovers. That was the storyline today, too, where they were turning over the puck and the Habs were pressuring, and Suzuki was always at the forefront of this. It felt like any time that there was a turnover, Suzuki was in the middle of it. So, really good game there. Controlled by the Habs through the first half, and then it's Jesperi Kotkaniemi with the goal from Drouin and Domi at 12:36. Domi had an excellent game, too. So, it's 2-0 in favor of Montreal. Again, everything seemed to fall their way. The Flyers get a too many men on the ice penalty. The Habs go to the power play. They don't score on that because Tatar ends up taking a penalty. The Flyers had a strong power play, but they didn't get one. So, good power play. No goals to show for it. Domi's in on a break. Gostisbehere takes him down. At first, I thought, is that going to be a penalty shot? And then they showed on the replay, really didn't do anything worthy of a penalty. This isn't the first time we've seen it. Referees, and I think it's the angle they're on, they look at the guy go down. Domi goes down, kind of face plants. They go, okay, so that's a penalty. So they call a hold, and then when you look, it didn't look like Ghost held him at all. So again, there's numerous angles that a referee doesn't have access to. If we want to start advocating for referees having to review every single penalty, I can't get there. I can't get there. Because even then, we'd still see referees going, yeah, no, that's a penalty. Or, okay, fine, I'll take that off the board. And either way, you're going to have people upset. Second period. The first 1:50 are a power play for the Habs. Keep in mind, this is still that penalty on Ghost. And Montreal takes advantage. Tatar scores from Mete and Domi at 1:25. So there's Domi's name on the board again. And then after it's 3-0, Paul Byron had a pretty good chance to make it 4 right there. Almost 4-0 right there. Really, really good start to the period for the Habs. So both in the first and second period, Montreal comes out and asserts themselves. And for Philadelphia, they're kind of left trying to collect themselves the rest of the period. They did, but they're already down 3-0. Suzuki almost got one. Can't quite elevate it over the stick of Carter Hart. Drouin takes a penalty. The Flyers go to the power play. He needed a goal. They then had 1 minute and 38 seconds of 5-on-3 on a penalty to Arturi Lehkonen. So there you go. Provorov was blasting it from the point on those power plays, could not get it to go through. And when it did, Price saw it, he stopped it. That's it. They talked about how the Flyers in the first game tried to take the eyes away for Price so he couldn't see the puck. And in this one, it just, he was getting everything. We then got coincidental minors, 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. There was a lot of 4-on-4 play in this game. A lot. And honestly, referees are I think we're going to end up with an interesting game in Game 3 and an interesting series from here, because the potential is there for this to turn into kind of an old-fashioned Montreal-Philly matchup where the dislike really starts to boil over on the ice. Then Armia would get a goal after a strong push by the Flyers, Price being in the zone, and Evans and Belzile get the assist at 17:57. That's Armia's first power play goal. Belzile, that's his first ever National Hockey League point. He's been a good story. He's one of those farmhand players that's come in and had to play, and he's been decent. Decent fourth line guys. Hart is then taken out. Elliott goes in. But honestly, that puck went in off Ghost's skate. So it's not a matter of we're going to take Hart out because he's not playing well. It's we're going to take Hart out to try to change things. So Vigneault trying to change the momentum in this game. It's not going to happen. Montreal is on a mission on this day. So Domi went right to Elliott towards the end of that period, which drew a crowd. Domi gets a goalie interference. You at least need to look like you're trying not to hit the goalie, and he hit him pretty good. So there's a Flyers power play with 49 seconds left, and it definitely made things a little more physical and ratcheted things up. But again, the Flyers really couldn't get anything going out of that. Third period, Konechny takes a penalty. The Habs get an early power play. Strong penalty kill, down by 4. Just going to say, strong penalty kill. Grant then takes a penalty. The Habs go to the power play, and they score again. This is a power play not known for scoring a bunch of goals. And check out who it is. It's Kotkaniemi with his second of the game. From Domi, his third assist, and Mete with his second assist. And Mete has 2 power play assists today. Who's this Victor Mete, and where did he come from? So, in the spot that maybe Romanov would have ended up in if he'd been allowed to play, Mete's getting points. Now, the interesting thing is that they pointed out that goal may very well have been offside. And if this game was close, Vigneault might have challenged it. But as it is, by this stage, Philadelphia just looked like they wanted the game over. They just wanted this done. They didn't want to worry about any kind of injuries or anything like that. They just wanted the game over. Price looked fantastic when he was tested. Konechny was among those frustrated and the walking wounded for Philly. There's nothing worse than when a guy goes to smash his stick and it won't break. There is a certain frustration a guy gets when he tries to smash his stick and it won't break. And it's heartbreaking. And if you're snickering, that's not nice. I'm just saying it's tough when it's not going well. And of course, for those who remember Ballard, it's even worse when you swing your stick in frustration and hit your goalie in the head. So, stick swinging can be a dangerous thing. It can be dangerous to yourself. I half wait for when a guy smashes a stick like that for it to break and a piece hit him in the face. I injured myself. Yeah, whatever. Trainer's got to take care of me. No, you can go to the room on your own. Here's a towel. Get out. You stick yourself in the face. So we end up coming out with 4-on-4 play again. The Flyers were playing in the Habs' end. Tatar takes a penalty. It's 4-on-3 for 36 seconds with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. It was just quite the parade to the box. And the only remaining tension in this was Price going to get the shutout? And the answer was kind of sort of yes. So Kirk Muller gets his first win behind the bench as a coach in the playoffs. He coached in the NHL previously. Believe that was with Carolina. Did not get playoff wins with Carolina. So he gets the win here. And it was interesting. He seemed to leave everything exactly the same as it would have been if Claude Julien was coaching. And again, I think that really got Montreal inspired for this game. The key thing is this, being able to do it over a series. And Philadelphia, they've got to wake up. They've got to answer in the next game on Sunday, or Montreal could very well be, using their heart to get themselves to a potential upset over the Philadelphia Flyers. This was quite the game. And this is after a game where Montreal held their own in game one. And Price was fantastic in that one. So Price's save percentage is ridiculous right now in the first two games. The shots were 16-6 Montreal in the first. They were 15-11 for Philadelphia in the second. 9-5 Philadelphia in the third. Final shots 32-30 in favor of Montreal. It felt like every time Montreal got a really good chance, it went in. It felt like special teams let Philadelphia down. The hits were 36-32 in favor of Philadelphia. The special teams numbers, Montreal goes 2 for 6 on the power play. Philadelphia goes 0 for 5. So that tells you it did let them down. Carey Price, 30 saves for his 7th career playoff shutout. So congratulations to Carey Price on another shutout. This might be why during the lockdown, the shutdown, the pause, whatever you want to call it, and they were talking about coming back and players being really kind of nervous about Carey Price being in a playoff environment. This is what they were nervous about. Carter Hart, 22 saves on 26 shots for an .846 save percentage in the game. Elliott saved 5 out of 6, which is an 83.3% save percentage. So I'm not going to put this on Hart. I think the defense in front of him let him down. I think there were turnovers being forced by really strong pressure by the Montreal Canadiens. And this is a dangerous Montreal team. We'll see how things are different when we get to Game 3, and the pressure might shift to Montreal at least a little bit. Although, let's be honest, everybody's expecting Philadelphia to be the contender, and there's going to be a lot of questions asked about Philadelphia coming out of this game. So let me know what you guys thought of this game in the comment section below. I thought it was fascinating. Again, the first couple of periods, I'm watching this while I'm also watching the Colorado game. So competing games right there. And that'll happen again with the next couple of games coming up here where there's a bit of an overlap. But at least I believe there's a bit of an overlap. But hey, let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.